lord.agion here, another company heroes too, Grey Goo Replay. Spawn on the bottom side, we have Frmb Woodchuck. Spawn on the top side, we have Kaiser. I fast forwarded to the 10-minute mark. For the past 10 minutes, both sides just macroing up and getting it. Actually, economy is actually quite slow for just purely going economy for the past 10 minutes. We got currently looks like only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 refinery for the beater player, and the top side we have for the human player we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 refinery for the human player. Got a scout here, and looks like both sides and still not attacking. Going to fast forward, see what we have. It's got some nice air harassment. And looks like at the 14-minute mark we actually see our first final attack. Well, not first final, but finally the first attack. We have, as I mentioned, with no major engagements until the 15-minute mark, both sides have an incredibly large army. We got no tech upgrades, mind you. We got command. Both sides are being funneled. The beater player is being funneled by its own buildings, while this entire choke point is a funnel. Both sides need a... Looks like these warbirds are doing some nice damage versus the Gladys. But what is needed on both sides is artillery. Artillery would crush both armies quite readily. Though it looks like the human player does have a bigger army, because half the beater player army was not even engaging. This other half still, well, another part still is engaging, and he's currently being overwhelmed. This replay goes on for another 15 minutes. It honestly looks like a bit of an end-game push right now. He has a huge army right here, not being utilized. He lost a small hub, and about to lose a critical refinery. Both. Yeah, it looks like that army finally engaged, and could have prevented a lot of that extra damage he would engage with his entire force. Perhaps now we will actually see a bit more aggressive gameplay for the rest of the game, instead of both sides just macroing up. He lost 3 small hubs. First off, he should rebuild this one here, because it has the refinery. That's the most critical building of this group. We got a large supplying force. Here's a useful tip for this player. There's a button here, or you can middle mouse click the unit that you want to build continuously. That's a little helpful tip. Middle mouse button, it will build that unit or that unit line infinitely. If there's one here and you want to add another unit later, you can always middle click another one, or you can just regular click to build that additional unit once. Just little tips and tricks that can extremely help with your macro. Currently the human player has stocked up with resources. This should be at around -2 or -1 or even at 0. So you have no wasted income. He needs to remove one of these refineries, perhaps even both, to let this catalyst field regrow. Perhaps place it up here, or down here, which he's trying to clear out. Two commandos here, I think, just for scouting purposes. They can't harass much, so might as well keep them for scouts. See, 3 armor, 4 attack. They will only do 1 damage. These warbirds are doing quite nice damage. There's been no longbows to deal anti-aircraft. Constantly sniping down Gladys. They're basically like orcas from Command & Conquer. Though I would say they need they just don't have enough ammo for my liking. They just don't do enough damage to be that effective. Because look, all 4 warbirds take out 2 Gladys. though their ammo supply does regen quite quickly. Let's see, Warbirds does 30 damage. Glass have 135 health, so it will take 5 shots. So you could actually put a control group of each single Warbird and make it attack a single Gladys, and it will kill it, even assuming it fires all shots. No need to focus fire them, because it might cause overkill. So if 4 fire 2 shots, that's additional 3 shots overkill, which could result in additional Gladys, or almost kill another Gladys. A lot of number of commandos. You could research the commando detonation pack upgrade. We got fighter versus fighter aircraft. That's something I haven't seen in a while. Nice sniper, 2 of them. I think these guys do some area effect damage. They do 50 AoE, so an aircraft really stack up bad. Warbirds have no area effect damage, though I think their weapon is stronger. 30 damage to the scythes. Yeah, less damage but have AoE, so they're better against aircraft, assuming the other player does not split them up. It's sort of like, and put in Starcraft 2 terms, it's like the magic box for Mutalisks. You spread them out so Thors don't all of a sudden one-shot them all or deal massive splash damage to them all. We got Skitchmar's bombers. I really wish that you can play aggressive stance to fire at all targets for these aircraft. I think there's 2 of them there, or maybe even 3. Because they could just sit there and wait and not fire their rounds. So that's why perhaps you just put them on an attack move. I think that makes them fire all their weapons off, even no matter what the target is, just in case, so you could just waste the ammo, get back, and then retask them again. Bomber coming in. Kills 1 commando. Let's see. Nimbus has like 3 shots, and they have to take a long time for them to actually fire all of their shots off. But they can get the burning, the scorched earth. Is that what it's called? Scorched earth policy? I could just imagine it being so. Now we got a good sized army here, a decent sized army here, in this late term sense. And look what we have: artillery, a perfect counter to the mass revolver. Artillery, 20 damage. Revolvers, they only have 90 health, so 5 artillery shots can wipe out an entire group. Look at this artillery damage. It dealt massive damage to all the revolvers. Didn't look like much, but it did quite a bit, which causes the rest of the units to clean them up quite nicely. Nice fighter aircraft and bombers come in the flank and destroy all that artillery. Nice play. And so far, nothing much else is happening. Looks like we have some. Now the human players' ground forces will repair over time, which can help, but not that. Well, it still needs a finish, but it can help in long-term engagements. But usually your units just die or stay alive. Usually, hardly ever they become extreme low unscathed, in my opinion. Getting snipe out extractor, which reduces the economy of the human player for a bit of a time. Got another possible attacking force, perhaps to harass the economy. We got a wall up. Probably should place it here, and perhaps even get guardians to on the wall, so they can shoot down both air and ground units. Commandos on walls don't do much. They have 4 damage. The Gladys have 3 armor. Yeah, they don't really do that much. Predators, that's basically a pretty good amount of damage dealing. But still, no tech by either player. I could see the move a shoot from the artillery, and the increased scythe ammo, which be pretty nice, increasing from 6 shots to 8 shots. Since he currently no side is building anti-aircraft, so might as well capitalize on Nimbus bombs or side's payload or smart land mine drops. And that wall is not complete. They're going through a tiny little funnel, which is really hurting him with casting, and they're being sent to battle one by one. That really hurt him. They didn't go through the gate, so they all got turned into a skinny little line and got picked off. And the refinery, they lost the refinery. This wall will do some, but commandos don't really have the effectiveness, and plus it's focused on not the gate and not the turrets. That's actually what it's called. In a fortress, these little round things are called turrets. The commando jumps out, but once again, nice amount of stalkers, which are the counter to Gladys. These walls, that wall segment, like I'm droning and droning about, really hurt him. And we're getting to that point in the game where no catalyst left. Little catalyst left. Plenty. Medium amount of catalyst left. No catalyst. He needs to move this refinery and let that thing grow. Running out. Starting to run out. But we're getting to that game, in the late game, which hardly ever happens in Grey Goo. We got this commando, nicely sees these scythes, and will we see? Nope, he's going for the refinery, and he wasted almost all his ammo. Let's see, 400 health, 3 armor. Does the scythes have any penetration? They do not, so their attacks does 14 damage, 14 times 6. I don't feel like doing math. We got, once again, units being split up. A lot of more managing could happen from both players, because units are being split up and being funneled into one area. Just, they're losing additional units needlessly. By the way, 3 armor and 17 attack would be 14. 14 by 4. Oh, look, you need to place. This is one thing I really hate. I wish they would have fired off their payload. Or, that's why you should, if you think there's any of them left, you place them on attack move. So they, actually, if I remember correctly, if you place them on attack move, they also they go back to that exact same spot when their ammo's out. So they're constantly, that's one way you can micromanage aircraft and make them constantly pay dividends. These bombers doing nice damage to these hailstorms. And that's why you also be sure, because this guy is being blocked by the other guy. Some odd reason, I think I like elephants getting away of each other when I see these guys. Nice Gladys flank, taking out the 2 hailstorms. Should probably just waste off the rest of the ammo. Yeah, you need to constantly be microing your aircraft so they continually waste off the rest of the ammo so you can get a refuel, then you can do out strikes. In my opinion. Or you can do immediate strike, not just leave them there. Which they're all being left there. He could just rally all the aircraft, attack move here, and they'll go out and attack, come back, go out, attack, come back, go out, attack, come back. You get the idea, until there's AA to deal with them, or yeah, pretty much any AA. Looks like we do have some cloud bursts coming up. They have 28 damage, pretty nice rate of fire, no AoE. And the human player cannot repair aircraft in whatsoever, so any damage is actually critical to deal to aircraft. Got props scouting, press harassment force to deal with additional extractors. Once again, wasted extractor. This guy was smart and removed his extractor to let this field regrow, Because right now, this isn't harvesting. He sees a small hub. He does not have enough. Well, with a bomber, he might have enough damage to snipe it. Note the bomber doesn't have any ammo. Okay. Another thing. All these units are being funneled in. He's doing an incredibly good amount of damage just because they're coming in basically 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, however it may be. But he just lacks a significant force. And sort of the same thing again. These guys weren't in the main group. So now they're being focused. He could have, before they reached that group, they could have moved away. We got fighter aircraft, engaging fighter aircraft. That actually hardly ever happens. We got another contingency force, but once again, these units are being funneled in. He should wait, group them up. And revolvers, yeah, they have a good DPS, but there's just not enough of them. They have pretty low health, so they get sniped by stalkers. That's actually why tridents do better against stalkers, because tridents have more health than a Gladys tank. We got a lot of Gladys tanks, but there's a lot of stalkers here, and now even predators. Nice snipes of the artillery, but once again, just not improper unit combination. You can get out some tridents to deal with the stalkers quite more readily. Well, I guess now that repair over time will come in handy. And once again, no move and shoot. That would have been so helpful to him right now. So, and once again, attack move. Got some more cloudburst, or a cloudburst here. And both sides haven't really done much damage to each other's economy. The beater player is constantly expanding out. The human player is just content what he has, which what he has is running out. As you can see, this Kaiser just then resupplied itself, but once again, it's going to be running out quite shortly. I lost my train of thought. Here we get to see some tridents, but they're all alone. They will get crushed. And once again, he's funneling in units which will be overwhelmed. He's losing units needlessly. He needs to get a couple waves of units and group them up. Probably could take this force and harass this area because he knows it's there with the commandos. And now the feeder player, in fact, sort of backed himself in the corner, but did destroy our extractor, I think. Should focus fire, the cloudburst. Surprising enough, the cloudburst how it was. Since it had no use in engagement, it tanked quite a bit of damage for him. He should run away with this force, or, well, he's receiving a lot of reinforcements. And looks like the human player surrendered. There is a lot of things can be learned from this. First off, don't really have your rally point inside your base unless you're losing in the battles, and so you need to group up your units. He knows he has field presence. He could rally them up here instead of having a large force sit in his base until he's ready for them to move out. Because look at this large force. If probably all of them was sitting in his base. I love the use of the aircraft, but just some bit mismanaging, which if you have units that still have ammo left in his nearby units, you just place them on attack move to attack. Another thing, you can have your aircraft units constantly be attacking without your constant need for micro of them. If you just actually send them on attack move. If you place attack move here, they will fire their ammo, come back, fire their ammo, come back, and fire your ammo. As I probably said before multiple times in this video. But overall, this is a very nice replay. Very surprising enough, 15 minutes of economy, 15 minutes of action. Luckily, I fast forward through the first 15 minutes because it was absolutely boring. Well, this is Lord.agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.